There is a circle made of chairs. It's just a room when no one's there. Voices linger in the air. If you listen softly, you may hear. Hi, Bonner here again, and we're back with more hand magic. This is episode 30, and in episode 30 we're going to talk about the arpeggios you already know. That's what you're going to learn today. We're picking up the thread that we began, I think, back around episode 24 and carrying through to episode 29, talking about using arpeggios both as a tool for us to learn where the notes are on the guitar and start to be more familiar with note locations and where the major scale is in particular on the guitar, and as a tool for playing so that we can actually improvise or jam and compose lines using arpeggio shapes. So that's what we're going to talk about today. The challenge remains for you as a new player or a player who's new to improvising or to composing lines in any style, whether it's a simple song like the song that I began with, which is an original song of my own called The Circle, or whether you're playing over more complex changes. The challenge remains that we have to be able to find the arpeggios that we want to be able to use, the arpeggios that correspond to the chords that are going by in the song. And one of the simplest things that we can do when we're first getting started is simply play notes out of the shapes. And you'll see this referred to in lots and lots of guitar instruction and guitar literature and YouTube videos, people talking about playing out of the shapes. Okay, so what we're doing when we're playing out of the shapes is we're just playing the actual chords, only instead of playing the chords that are being played by the rhythm guitar player, the backing track, you're using those shapes as a starting point to find your notes. Okay, so in this song, the chords we're playing, I've got the capo on too, but I'm playing a C shape. In the refrain or the chorus, I'm playing a C, a G, an F, and then a C and a G. Okay, so we're gonna cut to diagram number 1 here, and here you can see a picture of the C chord. And on the C chord, I've indicated which notes are which degrees of the scale. Now as we go to the following diagram, these are the same notes, but now shown in a tab form that you can practice playing these notes in different sequences. And so I'm just going to play the arpeggio patterns that are in diagram 2 that's on the screen right now, just so that you can hear how those patterns sound. We're going to practice them in episode 31. And you can practice using these sequences. You can make up sequences of your own, of course, and that's what you want to do. But you can see all we're doing here is we're picking out the notes from the chord shape that we already know. We're playing arpeggios that we already know how to find. So we're taking away one step of the work. Let's go into diagram number 3. Here we have the notes of the G chord, or some of the notes of the G chord. And initially, we want to just focus on the higher strings of the guitar as a starting point, because it chops the notes in half. It makes our life a little bit simpler and faster to get going. And when you're soloing, very often we're playing notes on the higher 3 strings. It's a very common practice in general. So here's the G chord. Now if we switch forward to diagram 4, now you can see some patterns generated for you to practice out of those notes, playing those notes in different sequences. And of course you're welcome to practice these and also to experiment and come up with your own notes. And then, so now I'm going to play the G arpeggio patterns with a little bit of the G backing track. Okay, the next diagram that we'll look at now is the F chord. And again, I've gone through the same exercise of outlining which notes are which scale degrees in the F chord. And then if we go on to diagram 6, you can see some patterns for you to play. Okay, so now I'm going to play the F arpeggio patterns with an F backing track, so you can hear what those arpeggio shapes sound like. Okay, so we've presented the chords, the 3 chords, and then little diagrams showing some patterns. So that's going to wrap up episode 30. Those are the concepts that we want to introduce. Is the idea that we have some arpeggio shapes built into the shapes of the chords themselves. And so let's start off by leveraging what we know and just using it in a different way, and it gives us some tools to do 2 things, which is what I said we would do. Number 1, we're going to learn where some of the notes of the major scale are. The second thing that we're doing is we're using the learning tool of the chord shapes and the concept of arpeggiation to build up some facility with actually being able to play some stuff over some chord changes and to be able to find the notes that we need right at our fingertips. So that's what we looked at today. From here on in, it's a practical exercise. So I'm going to direct you to episode 31. Episode 31 is the worksheets that we've looked at with the arpeggiation patterns and some backing tracks for each of the 3 chords, and then for the whole song altogether, or the chorus of the song altogether. So you can print out the worksheet that shows the patterns from the comments of this video, and I'll put it in the comments of episode 31 as well, and then play along with episode 31 and spend some time getting used to these ideas and playing around and having some fun, and let your fingers do the learning. Okay, so have fun with that. I hope you're enjoying these videos. You'll see my little head circle down here on the screen somewhere, I guess down about here. And that means if you click on my head, that means you can subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe if you're enjoying the lessons. And I'll talk to you again very soon. Bye-bye.